Most people say they want to live a long life, but if you press them on what that means, they start backpedaling. No one dreams about living to 100 if it means the last 20 years of your life are spent in and out of hospitals, on half a dozen medications, and unable to do basic things without help. If you don't know me, I'm Dr. Christian Poulos, a medical doctor and health coach who helps busy, high-performing men lose fat, optimize their health, and slow down aging so they can perform like they're 20 again. I run a concierge-style coaching program where I combine advanced blood testing, personalized nutrition, and performance training to help my clients stay lean, strong, and sharp for decades, not just the next few years. So the real goal here is not just to live longer. The goal is to extend the number of years you can live well. That means keeping your physical performance, your mental clarity, and your independence for as long as possible. If you want to do that, you need a plan. And that plan starts with tracking and managing the right numbers. If you want to do that, you need a plan. And that plan starts with tracking and managing the right biomarkers. These are the measurable numbers in your blood, body, and performance that tell you how well you are aging and where you need to make adjustments. The earlier you start, the more control you have on how the next 30, 40, or 50 years will look. So most people do not think about their health until something goes wrong. They get a diagnosis, they have a scare, or their doctor tells them they need some medication. But the problem is, by the time most of these things happen, you've already lost ground you may never fully recover. Your body doesn't really go from healthy to unhealthy overnight. It happens slowly with small changes in your blood work, your fitness, your body composition, and your resilience. Your fasting glucose creeps up a few points each year. Blood pressure inches higher. Muscle mass slowly erodes while fat mass quietly increases. The earlier you catch those changes, the easier they are to reverse. If you wait until the red flag stage, you're no longer optimizing, you're trying to undo damage. And that is why longevity starts with testing before you have symptoms. So there are four main categories of biomarkers you need to track if you want to live a long and high quality life: metabolic health, cardiovascular health, hormonal balance, and inflammation control. Each of these influences the others, but when you keep them all in check, you dramatically increase your odds of hitting 100 with your strength, mind, and independence intact. So pillar one, we have metabolic health. This determines how well your body processes and uses energy. When it's good, you can maintain a healthy weight, keep steady energy, and avoid the blood sugar spikes and crashes that lead to long-term problems. When it is poor, you're on the fast track to insulin resistance, diabetes, and accelerated aging. The key markers here are fasting insulin, fasting glucose, and your A1C. Fasting insulin is one of the most important, and you want it low enough that your body is not just constantly storing fat. Under 6 is a great place to be here. Fasting glucose in the 70 to 85 range keeps your daily energy stable and reduces your risk of diabetes. A1C gives you a picture of your average blood sugar over 3 months, and you want that closer to 4 or 5 rather than 6. There are other useful markers too. Triglycerides give you insight into how well you are processing carbs and fats. Under 100 is good, under 80 is better. Waist to height ratio is a simple but powerful physical measurement. Ideally, your waist should be less than half of your height. That ratio alone is strongly predictive of metabolic health and longevity. If these markers start creeping up, you're already heading towards metabolic trouble, even if your body composition and weight look fine on the surface. Pillar 2, we have cardiovascular health. Your heart and blood vessels are the highway system of your body. If they stay clear and efficient, you keep your energy high and your risk for a heart attack or stroke low. The two most important lab markers here for cardiovascular health are ApoB and LDL particle number. ApoB is the protein that wraps around all the LDL particles that can build up in your arteries. The lower the ApoB, the lower the risk. Under 70 is a good target for long-term protection. Blood pressure is equally important here. The goal is not just to be below 140/90. That's like bragging that you only scored 51% on a test, but still passed. You consistently want to see readings under 120/80 at home. VO2 max is another one that deserves a special mention, which I'll talk about a little bit later. It measures how efficiently your body uses oxygen during exercise, and higher numbers are consistently associated with lower risk of death from all causes. For most people, simply getting into the top 25% for your age can add years to your life. Now we have pillar 3, hormonal balance. Your hormones are the chemical messengers that regulate everything from muscle growth to mood. As you age, most of them trend downward. Some decline is normal here, but large drops are not inevitable, and they can have a huge impact on your quality of life. Things like testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, DHEA, growth hormone activity, thyroid hormones all deserve attention. For men, keeping testosterone in the upper half of the healthy range, combined with good free testosterone and balanced estradiol, supports muscle, libido, energy, and cognition. For women, estrogen and progesterone need to be monitored throughout their life, especially during and after menopause. to maintain bone density, brain health, and metabolic function. Thyroid health is also equally important for both sexes here. A sluggish thyroid slows down your metabolism, causes weight gain, and reduces your energy. Optimal TSH is generally between 0.5 and 2, with free T3 and free T4 in the upper ranges. Reverse T3 can also be worth checking if symptoms do not match the basic labs. Even growth hormone matters here, not because you want it to be high all the time, but because adequate GH activity supports recovery, fat metabolism, and tissue repair. And IGF-1 is probably the best marker here. Now we have pillar 4, which is inflammation control. Chronic inflammation is like a slow burning fire that damages tissues and accelerates aging. It contributes to basically every major disease, heart disease, Alzheimer's, and cancers as well. The simplest way to measure this is with a high sensitivity C-reactive protein, or hsCRP. The lower, the better. Under 1 is good, under 0.5 is ideal. You can also track homocysteine, which when elevated is linked to cardiovascular and brain health issues. Ferritin is another marker worth noting. It's usually used to check iron status in your body, but chronically high ferritin can also indicate inflammation and some oxidative stress. If you have high ferritin and no iron overload condition, it could be a signal to address inflammation sources. Keeping inflammation low requires a combination of the basics: good diet, exercise, sleep enough, manage your stress. It's that simple. Sometimes you could use targeted supplements like omega-3s, curcumin, or magnesium to help, but really the foundation is lifestyle here. But blood work is only part of the story here. You also need to track physical performance markers that predict how long you'll live. Grip strength, leg strength, walking speed, balance are all linked to a lower mortality risk. Again, your VO2 max, which measures how efficiently your body uses oxygen during exercise, is one of the strongest predictors for survival at any age. Maintaining a VO2 max, again, in the top quartile for your age group, can literally add years to your life. And I know this one's a little bit harder to test. You got to go on one of those machines, run on a treadmill, be hooked up to a bunch of things, but I think it's useful to test every now and again if you have the funds. Even balance tests, like being able to stand on one leg for at least 30 seconds without wobbling like you're in an earthquake, predict fall risk later in life. Falls are one of the leading causes of disability and loss of independence in older adults. And muscle mass matters too. You could use a DEXA scan or even regular body composition testing to help you track this. Sarcopenia, or age-related muscle loss, is a major driver of frailty. Keeping muscle on your frame is one of the best anti-aging moves that you can make. The more muscle mass you have, the longer you'll live, not including 300-pound bodybuilders. So let's put this blueprint into action here. Step 1 is to get a comprehensive baseline. Don't just accept the basic panel that your insurance covers. If you can afford it, pay out of pocket if you have to. You are investing in the most important asset you have. Step 2 is to compare your results to optimal ranges, not just the normal ones. Remember, normal is based on the general population, which is not the standard you want to use if you want to live a 100-year life. Step 3, make some targeted adjustments. If fasting insulin is high, adjust your diet and training to improve insulin sensitivity. If ApoB is high, address your nutrition and activity levels, and consider other interventions or medications if you need them. If testosterone is low, look at sleep, nutrition, resistance training, and your recovery before looking at TRT. Step 4 is to retest regularly. Every 6 to 24 months is a decent rhythm for most people. That way, you see trends before they become problems. When you keep your metabolic health strong, your cardiovascular system clear, your hormones balanced, although I know that is kind of like a buzzword phrase, I promise I'm not being one of those charlatans, keep your inflammation low, you're stacking the deck in your favor for a long, active life. You are not leaving your health to chance. You are actively managing it, which you should. The payoff is not just more years, it is better years. It's being able to travel, to play sports, start new hobbies, spend time with your family without your body holding you back. It's maintaining independence deep into old age. The blueprint for a 100-year life is not a mystery. Data points are there. The problem is that most people do not look at them until it is far too late. You don't have to be one of them. Start tracking your biomarkers now, learn the optimal targets, and make the adjustments that move you closer to them. Every point you improve now pays you back later in years you get to live well. A 100-year life is possible, but a 100-year life that you enjoy is earned.